Hi, my name's Bob Pianka. I'm making this video because I recently had LLIF surgery, which is Lateral Lumbar Interbody Fusion, which is spinal fusion at the L4-L5 level. After there's a few more vertebrae before you get down to the S1. And they did it laterally, which means they went in from my side. They made an incision there. It's called minimally invasive surgery. They went in there and did most of the work. And then they actually had to make 2 incisions in my back to put the screws in for the end. Now, I had ACDF surgery about 2.5 years ago. And by the way, I'm 5 weeks post-op from this procedure. And compared to this, the ACDF surgery was a cakewalk. I had very little pain from the procedure itself. My biggest problem was I couldn't swallow for 6 months. I couldn't swallow properly. But there was no incisional pain, which was done right here. On ACDF, the A stands for anterior, which means they go in from the front. Just like the lateral in LLIF, they're going from the side. And if they're going from the back, it's posterior. That's my surgical knowledge right there. And I can tell you that, well, I had 3 levels done in my neck. I had C3 through C6 fused. When they got in there, they found out that C2, C3 were already fused. So I C2 through C6 in my neck is one bone. And I had very little mobility afterwards. I mean, I basically could turn my head like this, go like this, and I could maybe do this. They put a titanium plate from C6 through C3, which immobilized my neck while it was healing. Right now, it's all fused into one bone. And in between the vertebrae, they put what's called a bone simulant. It's a piece of artificial bone that the bone grows around, causing the fusion. Now, I went for physical therapy post-op, and they were miraculous. Anyone that tells you you shouldn't go for physical therapy after having spinal fusion of any kind is crazy. I now can turn my head from side to side. I can go up and down. I can tilt. I can do all those things. I don't have the mobility that I had before the surgery, obviously, but pretty close. So the pain, although there is still some pain, it's different than it was. The pain that I had before surgery is gone. Now, back to the LLIF surgery. I'm a very unique, it turns out, subject, according to my surgeon, who is wonderful. I counted them, I have had 19 incisions made in my body, other than just a little, tiny thing. And the side incision that I had from this procedure, I had more pain from that than I did from the other 19 combined. But the 2 back incisions, I had very little pain from at all. I've had a kidney transplant, which means I have an 8-inch incision that's kind of half moon-shaped in my lower right abdomen. And I had very little incisional pain from that. I was very surprised. This one hurt like hell. The pain wasn't at the incision site. It was about 3 inches in front of it and about 1 inch down. In the crease when you sit from between your leg and your abdomen, that's where it was. It was like somebody was taking an ice pick and just jabbing me into it. Obviously, a nerve was involved. According to my surgeon, I'm in the vast minority that those who do have incisional pain have it in the back. Very few have it in the side. Lucky me. Now, the pain went away after about 3 weeks. I have no incisional pain anymore. They've healed very well. The covering that they put on it, because they use skin glue to put it back together, The sutures are subcutaneous, they're inside, and they cover it with glue. That all, started to flake off after about 10 days, and then by 3 weeks, almost all of it was gone. But I was very careful not to be abrasive on the incisions, I've learned. So it took a little longer for mine to completely come off, but it's all gone now. And the rear incisions are absolutely beautiful. At this point, I can hardly tell they're there. The side incision's going to take a little bit longer, but it's different kind of skin. So the incision's basically done. Now, at first, the actual back pain was much less. Just like when I woke up from the ACDF neck surgery, I was completely pain-free. 100%. I hadn't been pain-free in 15 years. It was a miracle. And slowly, the pain started to come back. Different kinds of pain. Turns out that I was pain-free because of all the steroids they had given me during the procedure. Boy, I'd like to go back to those days. I mean, I'm already on some steroids because of the kidney transplant as one of my immunosuppressant drugs. And I'll be on it for the rest of my life. But this was heavy-duty steroids. Now, the same thing happened here. I wasn't completely pain-free, but it was much less. After about 3 weeks, the pain came back. Again, different kinds of pain. Beforehand, I had pain in my lower back. I had sciatica in my left leg, sometimes in my right leg that ran down to just the knee. I had it in the buttocks in both legs. It was pretty bad. I mean, I swore I'd never do lumbar fusion. Here I was doing it. And in week 4, the sciatica pain went away. I haven't really had it since. But the pain has persisted in my lower back. And it's almost the same as before surgery, but it comes on quicker. If I'm standing or I'm walking or if I'm something like doing dishes, I know where I'm slightly leaning forward. Now, for the first 3 months, they don't want you to do BLT. They don't want you to bend. They don't want you to lift. They don't want you to twist. So if I'm leaning forward, I'm bending, which means I'm putting pressure on my lower back. So I try not to do it. But the pain has persisted in my lower back. I just had my follow-up visit with the surgeon, and he says, we moved a lot of things around there, and it's going to take time. It will get less. That's like a promise. Most doctors don't do that. But he was right. Just a week after I saw him, the lower back pain is now lessening. I can go farther. I can walk farther. I can do more things before the onset of pain. And I'm anticipating that it's going to get better and better and better. And that's where I'm feeling now, that it really will get better. And I'm hoping that those of you who are considering either cervical or lumbar spinal fusion, the only thing I can say to you is make sure you have a really good surgeon that you trust. I don't know why I had an absolute 100% trust in my doctor when I met him. He answered all my questions, spent a lot of time with me, did a very comprehensive examination, and I felt comfortable. Actually, I went to see the surgeon who did my neck first, and he referred me to the surgeon who did my lumbar, because he thought this was a better procedure for this was the lateral going in from the side, and he didn't do that. I was kind of flabbergasted about going in from the side. It seemed like much farther that you had to go. But it was explained to me that they go put this needle in under all kinds of guidance that they have. And then they just put another larger sleeve over that and another to just spread the area apart. And it's only an area probably about this big that they can visualize the spinal area that they need to. And they can't do it on everybody. They almost couldn't do it on me. It depends on how your pelvis is shaped, because they've got to go over the pelvis. And if it's blocked too much, they can't get in that way. And I was told that if he gets in there and he finds out that he can't do it, he's going to have to do it from the back. And he says going in through the back is much worse, pain-wise and recuperation-wise, than going in through the side, which is what I had come to know. Ask questions of your surgeon. If you have any questions at all, ask. The lumbar is a much safer procedure because the spinal cord isn't present at the lumbar, especially lower lumbar regions. It kind of it leaves up higher. So all that's there are the actual individual nerves that feed to the legs and all the other things. But the spinal cord itself is not involved like it was in my neck. So in that sense, it's a safer procedure. It is, yes, a more difficult recovery than ACDF. But remember that the spine carries a lot more weight than the neck does. They don't have to move anything out of the way. You just have to visualize the field. In the case of my ACDF, they had to pull my trachea and esophagus to the side so that they could visualize the spinal column. And because I had 3 levels done, it took a lot longer. So afterwards, my swallowing reflex was almost gone. I had to have speech therapy and learn how to swallow all over again. Even today, 2.5 years later, I'm very careful when I swallow because it still isn't 100%. It's 97%. But I've come to be very careful when I do those things. So in wrapping up, my experience has told me that it's although it doesn't seem like it, the LLIF procedure is safe, as safe as any surgical procedure can be. It's minimally invasive, and probably in 3 months, I anticipate I'm going to be pretty pain-free. I am wearing what they call a bone growth stimulator. It looks like a belt, but it puts out radio frequency electromagnetic stimulation that's supposed to stimulate bone growth. I wore it for my neck. I'm wearing it for my back as well. It doesn't do anything. You don't feel it. You don't hear it. You don't know it's there. And I wear it for 2 hours a day. The neck I had to wear for 4 hours a day. It's different. The neck thing drove my cell phone crazy. The spinal thing, lower lumbar area, that one doesn't do anything to my phone. Who knows? But my vote would be that you seriously consider this, but make your own decision. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical person. I'm relating my experience. And someone who dreaded the idea and promised himself he'd never do lumbar spinal fusion, I had to do it because the pain was just too severe. And as of now, I'm very glad that I had it because my level of pain is significantly less than before surgery and getting better. And I am anticipating that I will be almost completely pain-free within another 6 weeks. So do with this information as you will. I claim no responsibility for your decision. I just related my experience. If you do have it, I hope the best for you for either cervical or lumbar. If you have any questions, just post them in the notes below. I'll try to check back on this page from time to time and answer any questions you might have. But all the best to you. By the way, I had this during COVID. I actually will be getting my first vaccination next week. So this was 7 weeks before I actually had my vaccination. I wasn't overly concerned about COVID in the hospital. And I'm immunosuppressed. So again, do with that information as you will. That's it. Again, I wish you the best. I hope you stay safe. And all the best for you. Thanks a lot for watching, and be well.